Hello students, firstly I welcome you all to Disha PU online classes. So let me start this session by introducing myself Radhakrishna, and I'll be teaching you mathematics. So today let us begin with the new chapter, that is chapter number 9 of our first PUC, sequences and series, right? So before going to the topic, let us see what are the contents of the topic, that is what are the concepts that we are going to study in this topic, right? See, we are going to begin with introduction, then we will see what is meant by sequences, next we go for what? Series, next is arithmetic progression. See, you people are familiar with arithmetic progression as you have already studied that in your 10th standard, right? So here what we do is we will study a bit more about what? Arithmetic progression, right? See, next thing is what? Arithmetic mean. Next is geometric progression. This is a new thing to you. Next is geometric mean, relationship between arithmetic mean and geometric mean. The last thing is sum to n terms of the special series. So these are the concepts that we are going to study in this topic, right? So let us go with one by one, right? Let us study very easily and very slowly, right? So now beginning with the topic, sequences and series. So what is meant by sequence and what is meant by a series, right? See here, in many of the circumstances or in many of the situations in our life, see, we have come across many arrangements of objects, right? So let us consider some objects. Okay, so in a real life we have come across many arrangement of those objects. Like for example, your parents would ask you to arrange your books in order. Am I right? That is, arrange your books in order, right? So arrange these things in order. Arrange the newspapers in order. Am I right? So we come across many arrangements, but in particular we are not aware of what arrangements forms a sequence, right? We usually we use a sequence in our real life, but we don't know that in particular this arrangement is a sequence, right? So we have to study that is what kind of an arrangement we call it as a sequence, right? So let us understand the meaning of a sequence by taking example, right? So see here, I'll give you a simple example. See, you all may remember that during your school days, that is in your school days, early morning when you used to go to the school, the first thing you would do is pray. Am I right? That is, you used to form a line or you used to assemble in a particular place for the prayer. Am I right? So what you were doing during that, see, your teachers or your class leader would ask you to form a line. Am I right? On the line madri anta helirtare, right? So you are asked to form a single line. On the basis of what? See, you are going to follow a rule to form a line. What is that rule? See, you people are going to stand in a line according to your heights. Am I right? That is, teachers or your class leader would ask you to stand according to your heights. So that is the rule that we follow there. Am I right? So when you stand according to your heights, see, there we get some order of the arrangements. What is the order of that arrangement? See, we are able to find the particular position of a person, right? What is that? See, the person with the shortest height will be standing at the first. the person with the immediate next height, that is the immediate next heighted person will be standing immediately behind him or her. The next heighted person will be standing exactly behind. So it goes on. See, we are able to give the particular position for each and every person, and there we are following some rule, right? Shortest person will be standing at the first, the tallest person of the class will be standing at the last, right? So we are able to define the position of a person, and we are following some rule when you will be standing in a line. What is that rule we are following? Our height. According to our height, we are going to form a line. So this arrangement we call it as what? Sequence. Right? See, what do you mean by sequence? A sequence is arrangement of numbers, or you can also write arrangement of elements in definite order. In definite order in the sense that we are able to find the particular position of the object or the element or the number, right? So a sequence is arrangement of numbers or elements in a definite order followed by some rule, right? In this arrangement we are following some rule and we have a definite order for the elements. That is, we can find the particular position of the element identified. That is, we can identify who is the first member, we can identify who is the second member, we can identify who is the third member, so on it goes, right? For example, you take the line that you formed. You have formed according to your height. So there we can identify the first member standing. On the basis of what? On the basis of the height. Because shortest person will be standing at the first. So he or she will be having a first position. The next person will be having the second position. The immediate next heighted person will be having third position. So on it goes, right? And the tallest person of the class will be having the last position, right? So this is nothing but what? Sequence. These kind of arrangements form what? Sequence. I hope you understand. So what is a sequence? A sequence is an arrangement of numbers or elements in a definite order. That is, we can identify the position and it is followed by what? Some rule. See, in this example, what rule we are following? Height. Right? So let us take one more example so that we can be more clear with that. Right? See, I will consider that there is a gap of 30 years between each generation. Right? For example, take myself. I'll take myself. Okay? So the generation gap between, that is me and my parents, I will consider it as what? 30 years. My parents to their parents, I will consider it as what? 30 years. So what am I doing here? I am considering that for the birth of one generation, it takes how many years? 30 years. Right? So what I will do here is, I will find the number of ancestors, that is my parents, grandparents, great grandparents, right? Purvajaru anta heltivi, correcta? So what I will do here is, I will find the number of ancestors I have for over 300 years, right? So what am I considering here? I am considering that there is a gap of 30 years between each generation. That is, for one generation to take birth, it requires how many years? 30 years. Right? What I have to do? I have to find the number of ancestors that I have for over how many years? 300 years. That is, in 300 years, right? If it takes 30 years for each generation to take birth, then I have to find how many ancestors I have. ಒಂದು ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಹುಟ್ಟಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು? 30 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು, ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ 300 ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 300 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಹುಟ್ಟೋದಕ್ಕೆ 30 ವರ್ಷ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ನನಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಪೂರ್ವಜರು ಅದಾರೆ 300 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ನನ್ನ ಪೂರ್ವಜರು ಅದಾರ ಒಂದು ಜನರೇಷನ್ 30 ವರ್ಷ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ. So I have to find those number of ancestors, right? So see here. See, let me start with my parents, right? So ancestors are nothing but parents, grandparents, great grandparents, so on, right? So let me start with my parents. So 2. First thing, see here. If one generation takes birth in 30 years, then in 300 years, how many generations I will be having? Exactly, I will be having how many generations? 10 generations I will be having. Right? That is, see here, see. 30 years. In 30 years, there is a formation of what? One generation. So now, how many generations will be formed in 300 years? See here, what we do? Cross multiply. 300 into 1 divided by what? 30. So it cancels, that is equal to 10 generations. Right? So how many generations I will be having? 10 generations I will be having. So in these 10 generations, I have to find how many ancestors I have. Right? Andre ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಪೂರ್ವಜರು ಅದರ 10 ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ನೋಡಿ, see, let me start with my parents. Okay, so there are 2. Am I right? Now see, if I consider this as just as first generation, then how many ancestors I will be having? There are 2, that is my parents, right? And next thing, when you consider the parents, that is my grandparents. See, my father has my father has 2 parents, that is parents, that they are 2, and my mother, their parents are, they are 2, right? So total how many will be there? There are 4. That is, for the second generation, how many ancestors I will be having? 4, right? Next, in the same way, see, for each grandparent, parents will be 2, that is mother and father for each, right? So if I consider for each mother and father, then for 4 members, how many members will be there? 8. Am I right? So in the third generation, how many ancestors I will be having? 8 ancestors. So next, in the same way, I will be having 16. Next, I will be having 32. In the same way, it goes for 64. So on till the 10th generation comes, I will be having 1024 ancestors. I hope you understand this point. What have I done here? A generation takes birth in 30 years. So for over 300 years, I have to find that how many ancestors I have, right? ಒಂದು ಜನರೇಷನ್ 30 ವರ್ಷ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಹುಟ್ಟೋದಕ್ಕೆ 30 ವರ್ಷ ತಗೋತದ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 300 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ್ರಿ? 10 generations will be there. Am I right? So in these 10 generations, I have to find how many ancestors I will be having as the generation goes by, right? So see here, I have written some elements, that is some numbers here. So this is some arrangement of numbers. So now see whether it forms a sequence or not. See here, we are following some rule. What is the rule that we are following? For every 30 years, for over 300 years, how many ancestors I have? I am writing here, right? And we are having some definite order here. That is, we are able to define the position of each number. That is first, second generation, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, so on to how many generations we have? 10 generations we have, and in each generations we are writing the number of ancestors that I have. Am I right? So here this arrangement forms a sequence. Why does it form a sequence? Because this arrangement is in a definite order. That is, there is an identified first number, second number, third number, so on to 10th number. And it is following some rule. What is the rule that it is following? For every 30 years, we have written the number of ancestors. Right? So I hope you understand this point. So once again I will define what is a sequence. A sequence is a arrangement of numbers, or you can also write elements, in definite order. That is, we must be able to identify the position of the element, right, in a definite order followed by some rule. So it should follow some rule. So this arrangement is called as what? Sequence anta karite. Right? So I hope you understand the definition of the sequence. So now see here, I have written some numbers here, right? So all these numbers are called as what? Terms of the sequence. All these numbers are called as what? Terms of the sequence anta karite. Right? So what are the numbers are called as? Terms of the sequence. And in general, the terms of the sequence are represented like this. That is A1, A2, A3, so on, AN, so on. Right? In general, all the terms of the sequences are represented as A1, A2, A3, so on, AN, so on. Right? Here, this A can be any number, any element, right? And see, I have written subscripts here, that is 1, 2, 3, so on here. Am I right? All these subscripts define the position of the element. A1 means what? The element present at the first position. A2 means the element present at the second position. That is, this subscript shows what? The position at which the element is present in the sequence. Right? So this is how you denote the terms of the sequence in general. Here n means nth position. That is, the element is present in the nth position. N can be any natural number. If we take n is equal to 2, it will become second position. N equal to 3, third position. N equal to 4, fourth position. So in general, it is what? Nth position. Or this can also called as, right? So the element in the nth position is called as what? Nth term. Nth term of the sequence. See, we call it as first term, we call it as second term, we call it as third term. So in the same way, for AN, we call it as what? Nth term. Why? Because it is at the nth position. Or this is also called as general term of the sequence. Nth term is also called as what? General term of the sequence. Right? So I hope you understand this. Right? So what is a sequence? A sequence is an arrangement of numbers or elements in a definite order followed by some rule. Right? And so all these are called as what? Terms of the sequence. That is, various numbers which are present in the sequence are called as terms of the sequence. The terms of the sequence are generally represented by A1, A2, A3, so on, A and so on. Right? Here, these subscripts 1, 2, 3, so on, N. These all represent what? The position at which the element is present. That is first term, second term, third term, so on to nth term. Why? Because it is present in nth position. So this is called nth term of the sequence or general term of the sequence. Right? So this is about what? Definition of the sequence and how do we represent what? The terms of the sequence. Right? So now, see here. See, what example I have taken here? There is a 30 years gap in each generation. That is, the generation gap is what? 30 years. So, for over 300 years, how many ancestors I have written here, right? So, if a generation takes birth in 30 years, for over 300 years, how many generations I have? 10 generations. So, I have written all the ancestors, that is the number of ancestors that I will have in 10 generations. Am I right? So, see here. I have already told you that this forms a sequence, right? So, here can you tell me how many number of terms are there in a sequence? See here. This is first term A1. This is second term A2. This is third term A3. This is fourth term A4. This is fifth term, that is A5. This is sixth term. So on as you go on, this is the last term, that is what? 10th term. So can you tell me how many number of terms are there in a sequence? There are 10 terms in the sequence. Right? That is the number of elements or the number of terms in the sequence are fixed. That is, we can count the number of terms that are present in the sequence. Am I right? That is, sequence contains definite number of terms. Definite number of terms in the sense, fixed number of terms. That is, we can count the number of terms that are present in the sequence. That type of a sequence is called as what? Finite sequence. Right? I hope you understand this. Note 10 generations alli ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ancestors ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? So these are what? ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಾದವು? Terms of the sequence ಆದವು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? So how many terms you can see here? 10 terms are there. ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅದಾವ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಾ? ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೌಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಅದನ? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದೀಸ್ ಮೆನಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. that type of a sequence is called as what? Finite sequence ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Finite sequence. Right? If the sequence has indefinite number of terms, that is, if we are unable to tell that the number of terms are particular, that is, if we are unable to give a number, that is, if we are unable to tell how many number of terms are there in a sequence definitely, that type of a sequence is called as what? Infinite sequence anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Infinite sequence. For example, see, take natural numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on. Right? See, it forms a sequence. Why does it form a sequence? Because there is some rule that is followed here. What is that? Every term is added by 1. Howda? And there is some definite order for this. That is, we can identify which is the first element, we can identify which is the second element, so on. See, after 5, we know which is the sixth element, we can write the seventh element. It goes on like that, indefinitely. right? We don't know what is the end for this, right? We cannot tell here that how many number of elements are present in the sequence. This type of a sequence is called as what? Infinite sequence of the right? So what is a finite sequence? A sequence which contains definite number of terms. That is, if we are able to tell the number of terms present in the sequence, that sequence is finite sequence. If we are unable to tell the number of elements in a sequence, that is number of terms in a sequence, that is called as what? Infinite sequence of the right? So this is the example for infinite sequence, and the generation example that we have taken will be an example for what? Finite sequence. You can take many examples like that, right? So now the next point. See, let me take one more sequence. 2, 4, 6, 8, so on. See, by seeing this, you can easily tell what are these numbers. These numbers are even numbers. So it forms a sequence here because the arrangement is in definite order and it follows some rule, right? That is, each and every element is what? It is added by 2, right? And we can identify the first member, second member, third member. That is, there is some order for the arrangement, right? See here. These even numbers, I can represent them by using some general formula. That is what? 2 into n. See, what are even numbers? They are nothing but multiples of 2, right? Multiples of 2 anta andaga, can I represent it by using 2n, right? Where n is what? A natural number. N is a natural number, right? So now take n is equal to 1, put it here. 2 into 1 is what? 2. Take n is equal to 2, 2 into 2 is 4. Take n is equal to 3, 3 into 2 is 6. Take n is equal to 4, 4 into 2 is 8. Next even number is what? 10. Take 5 here, 5 into 2 is what? 10. So in general, can I write the even numbers in the form of 2 into n? Right? So there are some sequences which can be represented in a general algebraic formula. Right? Instead of writing all the terms of the sequence, right, we can write only the general term. That is the general algebraic formula which is responsible for forming this sequence, right? So the even numbers can be written as what? 2 into n, where n belongs to what? Set of natural numbers, right? In the same way, take odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, so on. So these are odd numbers. So in general, this can be written as what? 2 into n plus 1. Right? Sorry, 2 into n minus 1. Right? Where n is a natural number. Where n is a natural number. Where n is a natural number. See here. If you take n is equal to 1, 2 into 1 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. That is the first term. Take n is equal to 2, 2 2 is 4, 4 minus 1 is 3. Second term. Take n is equal to 3, 3 2 is 6, 6 minus 1 is 5. Third term. Right? So, in general, the basic algebraic formula for the odd numbers is what? 2n minus 1. And for the even numbers, it is what? 2 into n. Right? So there are some sequences where you can write them in what? Some general algebraic formula. Right? So let us take one more example here. See, I'll take one more example. 1 1 2 3 5 8 so on. See, you in this sequence, let us consider this a sequence, right? Here you cannot see some pattern. There is no particular pattern that you can see here, right? The first term and the second term are equal, right? After that you just keep on observing here. See, the third term is obtained by adding the first and the second term. That is, the third term is obtained by the addition of what? Its previous two terms, right? And the fourth term is obtained by the addition of its previous two terms. That is, 3 is obtained by the addition of 1 and 2. 5 is obtained by the addition of 2 and 3. 8 is obtained by the addition of 3 and 5. The next term will be obtained by what? Addition of 5 and 8. That is equal to 13 here. Right? So, see here. In general, we write A1, A2 for the terms of the sequence. So, A1 is equal to A2. That is equal to what? 1. Right? See, the third term, that is A3 is equal to. What is it? A2, right? Plus A1. When you add A2 plus A1, you are going to get what? The third term. Comes to the fourth term, right? That is what? A3 plus A2, right? So in general, if you want the nth term of the sequence, that is An, what you are going to do? You are going to add the exact previous two terms of the An, right? See here. For the third term, I am adding the exact previous two terms of the two. That is A1 and A2. To obtain 3, I am adding exact previous two terms. That is A2 and A3. In the same way, to obtain An, what we have to do? We have to add the exact previous two terms of An. Right? So see, exact previous two terms of A4 is what? A3 and A2. That is 4 minus 1 is 3, 4 minus 2 is what? 2. So what will be for An? It will be An minus 1, that is in the previous term, plus An minus 2, that is what? The previous term of An minus 1. Right? So here, one term is obtained by the addition of its previous two terms. That is called as what? Recurrence relation. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? Recurrence relation ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Right? What is the recurrence relation? One term is obtained by the addition of what? Previous two terms. That is what? Recurrence relation. The sequence, that is in general recurrence relation we write like this, right? The sequence which is obtained by the recurrence relation, or the sequence which is generated by the recurrence relation, that kind of a sequence is called as Fibonacci sequence. That type of a sequence is called as what? Fibonacci sequence anta karitivi, right? That is, a term is obtained by the addition of previous two terms is recurrence relation, right? The sequence which is generated by the recurrence relation is called as what? Fibonacci sequence anta ನಾವು ಕರೀತೀವಿ, right? So this is also a sequence that is represented. What kind of a sequence is this? This sequence is a Fibonacci sequence. Why is it called a Fibonacci sequence? Because this sequence is generated by using what? The recurrence relation. That is, the term of the sequences are obtained by the addition of previous two terms. This sequence is called as what? Fibonacci sequence. Right? So I hope you understand this. Right? Some of the sequences can be what? Written basically in their algebraic formula, general algebraic formula. Some of the sequences will be like this, that is they are what? Fibonacci sequence obtained by recurrence relation. Right? So there are some sequences where you cannot represent them in general formula. That is, you cannot represent them in general algebraic formula. Right? See here. 2, 3, 5, 7, so on. What are these? Can you tell me? Very good. These are what? Prime numbers. So it is the sequence of what? Prime numbers. See here, is there any pattern that these follow? There is no particular pattern between any two numbers. Right? So is it possible for us to represent this in our general, the basic general what? Algebraic formula? It is not at all possible to write it in terms of what? N. Right? For even numbers, you have written it as 2n. When you take any natural number here, you are going to get all the even numbers. That is 1, 2, 3. If you take, you will get 2, 4, 6, 8, so on. Odd numbers, you have represented it by what? 2n minus 1. Right? But for these kind of sequences where there is no particular pattern followed between any two numbers, we cannot write them in what? The general algebraic formula. So all the sequences cannot be written in some general formula by using n. There are some sequences where you can write like this, and there are some sequences where I have already told you about the Fibonacci sequences. Right? There are some sequences like that which are generated by recurrence relation, and there are some sequences where you have to represent each and every element. That is, you cannot write them in general. That is, there is no nth term. That you cannot generalize that the nth formula for what? These kind of sequences. Right? So I hope everybody understand this point. Right? So we have known the definition of the sequence. So what is a sequence? A sequence is an arrangement of numbers or elements in a definite order followed by some rule. Right? So I have given you some examples of the sequences. Right? Next we have learned about what? The terms of the sequences. That is, various numbers of the sequence are called as terms of the sequences. Terms of the sequences are represented by A1, A2, A3, so on, AN, so on. Right? Here the subscripts that I have written, what they define? They define the position of the term. First term, second term, third term, so on to nth term. Right? So this element is in nth position. This is called as what? Nth term. Nth term, or this is also called as what? General term of the sequence. General term of the sequence. Right? If the sequence have the definite number of elements, that is, if we are able to tell the number of terms in the sequence, that sequence is called as finite sequence. The sequence which have indefinite number of terms, that is where we cannot tell definitely how many terms are present in the sequence, that kind of a sequence is called as infinite sequence. I have given you the examples for that, right? And there are some sequences where you can write them in nth formula, that is using n. There are some special type of sequences that are what? Fibonacci sequence, which are obtained by recurrence relation. And there are some sequences where there is no nth formula for that. That is, you cannot represent them in terms of what? N. right? So this is about what? Sequences. So I hope you understand this, right? So let us now write the definition of the sequences and all, right? Right. So write the definition of the sequence. Here I have written some of the points which are based on what? Sequences. That is, I have already told you that the numbers which occurs in the sequence are called as terms. The terms of the sequences are represented by what? A1, A2, so on, An, so on. See here, these dots represents what? That is, the numbers are continued here, right? And these dots that is, after this there are 3 dots, right? So these indicate what? It is continuing indefinitely, right? And I have also told you that the subscripts denote what? The position of the term, right? And the nth term of the sequence is denoted by an. I have already told you, and it is called as what? General term of the sequence. So just take this down. Right? Then after this we will write some more points about finite sequences, infinite sequences. Then we will go with what? We will write the definition of the series. We will get to know about that. Right? Right. So write the definition of the finite sequence as well as the infinite sequence and with some examples. Right? So now we will write about what? We have also learned about what? The special type of a sequence, that is Fibonacci sequence. Right? Then we will go for the series. Right. So what we have done, we have written the definition of the sequences. We have seen finite and we have also written about finite and infinite sequences. And we have learned about some special, that is the special type of sequence, that is Fibonacci sequence, right? That Fibonacci is a mathematician, right? So he has given that the particular kind of a sequence that is called what? Fibonacci sequence. So now let us study about what? Series. We will know the definition of the series. So what is meant by a series, right? So let us consider the sequence A1, A2, A3, so on, An, so on, right? So I have already told you that the terms of the sequences are represented by A1, A2, A3, so on, An, so on. Where the subscripts denote what? They give us the exact position of the terms of the sequences, right? So I have considered a sequence, right? So what is series? See, the expression of the form, that is the expression A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus so on plus An plus so on. This expression, which is associated with the given sequence, is called as what? Series, right? Let us consider a sequence. The expression A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus so on plus An plus so on is called as what? The series which is associated with the given sequence, right? So what we have done? We have introduced a mathematical operation between each term of the sequence, that is plus in between each term of the sequence, right? And we have written the terms of the sequences. So this expression is nothing but what? A series, right? For example, take 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. So this is a sequence of natural numbers. Now if I ask you to write this sequence in series, what you will do? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus so on. So this is nothing but what? The series which is associated with the given sequence. Right? See here. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many terms are there in a sequence? There are 4 terms. That is, we can identify the number of terms of the sequences, right? So this sequence is what? Finite sequence. So the series will also be what? Finite series, right? If the sequence is infinite, then the series will also be infinite. That is, the sequence is finite or infinite. It depends on whether the given sequence is finite or infinite. Right? And see here, we have taken the sum of all the terms. Right? See here, we have taken sum of all the terms. This indicates the series. Right? When we are introducing the mathematical operation, that is plus sign in between the terms, and we are writing all the terms of the series, this indicates what? The series. Right? And add all the terms and write here what is the value we are going to get. 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 2 is 9, 9 plus 1 is 10. This is nothing but what? Sum of the series. Right? That is sum of all the terms of the series. Right? This indicates what? Series. When we talk about the series, then we are not going to write the value that we are going to get by adding all the terms. We are just going to introduce the mathematical operation plus sign in between the terms of the sequences, and we are going to represent all the terms of the sequences here. So this becomes a series. This is what? This is the sum of the series. After adding each and every term of the sequence, what is the value that we are going to get? It indicates what? The sum of the series. So I hope you understand what is meant by series. Right? So once again I will repeat for you. Let us consider the sequence. Okay? So the expression a1 plus a2 plus a3 plus so on plus an plus so on is the series which is associated with the given sequence. Right? So what we are doing, in between each term of the sequences, we are what we are writing or introducing the mathematical operation plus in between. So this is what? This is nothing but the series. Right? So see, instead of representing all the terms of the series like that, we can even represent the series in compact form. Right? So how will we represent? See, we are going to represent the series by using the Greek letter sigma. This is nothing but what? A summation. Summation in the sense, the sum of all the terms of the series. Right? So using this symbol, we are going to represent the series in general form, in a compact form. Right? So how will we write the elements? We are going to represent the elements as AK, where K is varying from what? 1 to n. Right? That is K is equal to 1 to n. So this is how we represent the series in compact form. That is, instead of writing all the elements of the series, that is representing all the elements of the series, the elements of the series are written in general form, and we are writing the subscript with, that is that the K varies from 1 to n. That is, all the terms of the series comes here. What this sigma symbol denotes? It denotes the sum, that is summation. Right? So this is how we write the series in general form. Okay, so this is about what? A series. Let us write the definition of the series now. Right. So first write the definition of the series. That is, let a1, a2, so on, an with a given sequence. Then the expression a1 plus a2 plus a3 plus so on plus an plus so on is called the series associated with the given sequence. Right? So whenever we are given a sequence, if we introduce the plus sign in between each term of the sequence and write, that becomes a series, right? So the series is finite or infinite, accordingly whether the sequence is finite or infinite. I have already told you this. And I have told you that the sequence is represented by what? In a compact form is represented by using the symbol sigma, that is Greek letter sigma, which is abbreviated as like this: a1 plus a2 plus so on plus an can be written as what? Summation of k is equal to 1 to n ak subscript k, right? So this is the definition of the series and some points on that. Okay, so now what we do is we will begin with the problems based on the sequences and series, right? Right. So let us begin with the problems based on the sequences. So what we have to do here? Write the first three terms in each of the following sequences defined by the following. So we are given two sequences here. So what we have to do? We have to write the first three terms of the sequences, right? So we are given an here. I have already told you that the general term of the sequence or the nth term of the sequence is denoted by an. So we are given the sequence in terms of n, that is nth term we are given. What we have to do? We have to find the first three terms of the sequences, right? So I have told you that the terms of the sequences are represented by a1, a2, a3, so on, an, so on. Right? So see here, when you put n is equal to 1, we will get the first term. When you put n is equal to 2, we will get the second term. When you put n is equal to 2, we will get the third term. When you put n is equal to 4, we will get the fourth term, and so on. As you go on substituting the value of n, we will get the particular term of the sequence. So here what we have to do? We have to find the first three terms of the sequence. So what are the first three terms of the sequence? A1, A2 and A3. So in the place of n, what we have to substitute? We have to substitute 1, we have to substitute 2 and we have to substitute 3, right? So based on that we will be getting first term, second term as well as the third term. So let us solve this. So now solution. So first write the given sequence. What is the given sequence? An is equal to 2n plus 5. Right? So what we have to do now? We have to find the first three terms. So for that, put n is equal to 1, 2 and 3. Right? So substitute the values of n one by one. So first n is equal to 1. A1 is equal to 2 into 1 plus 5. This is equal to, what is 2 into 1? 2. 2 plus 5 is 7. So this is the first term of the sequence. Right? Next put n is equal to 2. It will be A2. Put 2 in that sequence, that is 2 into 2 plus 5 equal to 2 2 is 4. 4 plus 5 is what? 9. Right? A3 is equal to, that is n is equal to, put n is equal to 3. So 2 into 3 plus 5 is equal to 3 2 is 6. 6 plus 5 is what? 11. Right? So you have put the values of n as 1, 2 and 3 and you have got the first three terms of the sequence, that is given sequence. So this is how you find the first three terms of the given sequence. Right? So at last what you write? The required terms are 7, 9, 11. 7, 9, 11. So this is your answer for this. I hope you understand how to find the first three terms. Right. So now take this down. Let us go for the next question. Solution. First write the given sequence. An is equal to what? N minus 3 by 4. See, here also we have to find what? The first three terms. So in order to find the first three terms, what we have to do? We have to put the values of n as 1, 2 and 3. right? So now substitute one by one. Put n is equal to 1. A1 is equal to, put 1 in place of n, 1 minus 3 divided by 4. So here see, signs are different. So you will subtract, right, and put the greater number sign. So what will be your answer? What is 1 minus 3? Minus 2. Why? Because the signs are different. So you will subtract. 3 minus 1 is 2. And put the greater number sign. What is the greater number sign here? Minus. So minus 2. Divided by 4. So 2 ones are 2 2s are get cancels. So minus 1 divided by 2. So this is your first term of the sequence. Now put n is equal to 2 in the same way. So a2 is equal to 2 minus 3 divided by 4. So what is 2 minus 3? Minus 1 divided by 4. So this is the second term of the sequence, right? So in the same way, put n is equal to 3. A3 is equal to 3 minus 3 divided by 4. This is equal to what? 0. Why? Because 3 minus 3 is 0. So 0 divided by 4 is also what? 0. Right? So 0 divided by anything, provided that if that anything is not equal to 0, then the answer will be 0. Right? So this is how you find the first 3 terms of the sequences for the first 3 terms for the given sequences. Right? So write this down. There is one more bit based on this, so we will solve that also. Right? Right. So the second bit. Write the first 5 terms of each of the following sequences. So we are given some sequences. What we have to write? We have to write the first 5 terms of that sequences, right? So in the previous question, we have written how many terms of the sequences? First 3 terms of the sequences. So to write the first 3 terms of the sequences, what we have done there? We have substituted n is equal to 1, 2 and 3, right? So here we require how many terms? First 5 terms. So in the same way, in place of n, what we have to substitute? We have to substitute 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? So let us solve the problems. See, first 2 problems take as your homework, right? In the same way for the first 3 terms as you have solved, you can solve that. They are easy. So let me solve the problem, that is the third problem, right? See, solution. First write given. What is given? An is equal to 2 power n is given, right? So now we have to find the first 5 terms. So put n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So now just go on substituting the values of n one by one. First put n is equal to 1. A1 is equal to 2 power 1 is equal to 2. That is 2 power 1 is 2. First term of the sequence. A2 is equal to 2 power 2 is equal to 4. That is put n is equal to 2. You will get A2. 2 power 2, that is 2 square, is equal to what? 4. Now put n is equal to 3 in the same way. That is A3 is equal to 2 power 3. That is 2 cubed. So what is 2 cubed? 8. Right? Next, put n is equal to 4. 2 power 4. 2 power 4 is nothing but what? 2 is multiplied 4 times. So when you multiply 2 4 times, the value you will get is 16. Right? And the last, put n is equal to 5. A5 is equal to 2 power 5. That is 2 is multiplied how many times? 5 times. When you multiply 2 5 times, you are going to get the value as 32. So these are the first 5 terms of the given sequence 2 power n. Right? So this is how you find the first time 5 terms. That is, you have to put n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Substitute your values of n one by one in the given sequence. You will get the respective terms. So this is how you solve the given sequence to find the first 5 terms. right? So let us go to the next question. Fourth, see solution. First write as usual given, that is an is equal to 2n minus 3 divided by 6. So we have to find the first 5 terms. So put n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Substitute one by one. Put n is equal to 1. a1 is equal to 2 into 1 minus 3 by 6. So this is nothing but what? See, 2 into 1 is 2. 2 minus 3 is minus 1 divided by 6. Right? This is the first term. Now put n is equal to 2. a2 is equal to 2 into 2 minus 3 divided by 6 is equal to, see here, what is 2 into 2? 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. So 1 by 6. So this is the second term of the sequence. Put n is equal to 3. a3 is equal to 2 into 3 minus 3 divided by 6 equal to, what is 3 2s are? It is 6. What is 6 minus 3? 3 divided by 6. So here it get cancels. 3 1s are 3 2s are. So it is equal to 1 by 2. This is the third term of the sequence. See, if the numerator and denominator can be cancelled with each other, then you can cancel and write the simplest form. If they cannot be cancelled, then just keep it as it is. Right? So now, so we have found the first 3 terms of the sequences. So remaining there are still 2 sequences, that is terms of the sequences, that is 4th term as well as the 5th term. So put n is equal to 4. a4 is equal to 2 into 4 minus 3 divided by 6. See, this is nothing but, what is 4 2s are? 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. So this is equal to 5 divided by 6. Last term is a5. That is n is equal to 5. So 2 into 5 minus 3 by 6. What is 5 2s are? 10. 10 minus 3 is 7 divided by 6. So these are the first 5 terms of the given sequence. an is equal to 2n minus 3 divided by 6. Right? So this is how you find the first 5 terms of the sequences. In the previous question, we have found the first 3 terms of the sequences. Right? So in the similar way, if I ask you to find the first 7 or first 8, first 9 terms of the sequences, what you have to do, in place of n, just go on substituting the values. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You will get the first 6 terms. Put 7 again, you will get the first 7 terms. Right? So in this way, you have to find the terms of the sequences, terms of the given sequences. Right? So take this down, and these 2 remaining problems will be for your homework. Alright, so we have solved 2 bits based on the sequences, right? So there are some remaining questions again, so we will solve that in the next class, and with that we will also see what is meant by what arithmetic progression, right? So I hope you understood all these points. Correct? So after going through the video, that is after watching the video, sit and study once again, right? So that will be more clear, right? So we will meet in the next class again. Thank you.
20